flipping back the calendar to examine notable films throughout cinema history, the good, the bad, and everything in between. This is Movie Review Rewind on Nashville Movie Dispatch. Welcome back for another episode of the Movie Review Rewind podcast right here on Nashville Movie Dispatch. I'll be your host for the show, the EIC at Sobros Network. Big Natural Stoney Keeley. You can follow me on Twitter at Stoney Keeley, wherever you consume social media. And, of course, check out all of our work covering movies at NashvilleMovieDispatch.substack.com. Joined, as usual, by my co-host for the Movie Review Rewind podcast. He is a board member of the Music City Film Critics Association. He is a member of the Southeastern Film Critics Association. He's our resident film critic here at Nashville Movie Dispatch, Mr. Big Shot himself, Brandon Vick. Brandon, how you doing today, my man?
Pretty good. I am amazed Chris Stapleton did our entrance.
That is
well done.
It's a new
well
theme
done.
song for Movie Review Rewind. A little inside baseball here. Some of you guys, like if you've been listening to this show long enough, you know we record these way in advance. The schedule kind of got a little tricky this year, so this episode's actually going to come out in June, and we recorded it 2 months ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
But I did get a new MacBook in between there.
You
and
upgraded.
All of the theme songs for our podcast were lost on the old one. The problem is we've already recorded episodes for like July and September and August and October, even January and February of next year that are all going to have the old theme song, but this new one just for June. And then for August, one of the August episodes will have the new
I didn't
one.
think
November.
about that. They're literally going to hear two different kinds.
From month to month for the rest of the year. It's going to be like going back and forth between the old song and the new one. So
nice.
That's just a little peek behind the curtain.
But my next question is going to be: are you 40 yet? But now people know it's been 2 months in advance, so clearly you're still in your 30s. So.
Well, this is going to be released in my birthday month when I will turn 40. Yeah,
your birthday month. Yeah. So
I still don't know if I'm going to do anything for 40. I mean, because my wife is like, you need to do something big, and I'm just like, I don't know.
I guess it depends on what it is, because I'm kind of like that. I would like to do like something, but then I'm like, I don't want to have to like drive somewhere and pay for parking, and I don't want to like fight crowds, and we don't have that many friends now. So,
I was thinking about that the other day. Like,
so
this is going to be news to you, but I was thinking the other day, my mother has a big chest that she wants to move from the garage into her bedroom, and it's not heavy, but it's too big for one person to carry. And I'm not going to ask my 77-year-old mother to try and lift this.
Yeah, sure.
And so I was thinking like, okay, well, who do I call to come help me move this? And in my head, I was like, if Brandon can't do it, I genuinely, who
you know who you would call?
Who?
My dad.
Yep.
Who is 7 years younger than your mother?
Yeah. So,
but he would do it.
Yeah.
And in all fairness, he lives close.
He does. I would not want to ask him to do. I almost said an older person. I don't want to ask another older person.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, but
he's more handy than you think.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
But I would feel guilty.
That's true. Yeah,
because I've got an uncle that's very handy too, and he's very eager to help as well. And I'm like, I don't want to ask him to come out here and move this thing. So, but that just goes to show you.
I think I can move it. So you know, I think I can move it.
But back in the day, it was like, I mean, I remember when we moved out of our apartment, we had like 7 people there helping us move.
Oh yeah.
And now I don't even know that I could.
But also, like, and my wife and I have talked about this, about like whenever we move from our house to the other one, like, I don't want to move all that shit.
No, I think
then most of the people that I know are my age.
We're all.
I don't think
I mean, think
Anyone
about,
should be doing it.
do you remember when you, me, and Stephen McCash tried to move our grill up the front yard around the house to the back porch, and we gave up halfway through?
Yeah, a bone popped out of my arm.
And then I think, like, our other friend, Ryan, he's got a bad back.
Yeah.
I don't want to ask him to help move.
Yeah.
And
Which, by the way, younger than us.
younger than us. But I'm just, like, going through the people that I...
Slim pickings.
And I'm just like, man, we have gotten to the age where just, you know what, shell out the money for the movers.
We should make our buddy Brett's kids help.
Hey.
You think they're strong?
What's the point of having kids if not to help you move?
Exactly. My 3-year-old cuts the grass and weed eats. Because I hate yard work. But I think about that, like, as I get older, I'm like, I hope my kid, like, kind of, like, move some stuff for me. And then you get his friends, assuming he'll have, I'm hoping he has some. Then I'm like, I told my wife, I'm like, we'll be in good shape.
I mean, how many times did my father, when we were teenagers, have us doing stuff around the house or at the shop?
Well, yeah, but you know what? Your dad never really asked. I don't think he really asked me to do that much.
I think you worked for him one day.
I did work for him one day.
And
sanding.
I think he thought for the rest of his days, I think he thought that he traumatized you.
Yeah, no. I just don't. I think I realized it's too much hard work.
I think he thought I'm going to get a phone call from Mike and Debbie.
Yeah. No, you know what's funny? It wasn't a bad experience, but I remember sanding a lot.
Sanding sucks, man.
I don't know if it was, it was probably a car or
Yeah.
part of a car.
Yeah, we were working on a car that
But then
day.
I think, I don't even know why I did it.
We did it to get money for Kentucky Kingdom.
Oh, was it for? Oh, okay. All right. I did not. Okay.
We were going up there with our another
okay.
buddy's friend.
Yeah.
And
okay.
we had to come up with some money, and my dad said, "I'll pay you guys such and such an hour."
I do remember going, and I think I had met one of the colorful characters that came around.
Oh man.
I honestly I couldn't tell you who, but there was definitely one dude. But yeah, I didn't know that's what it was for. But I do just remember sanding.
Yeah.
And I honestly felt like it was one of those, like, I felt like I went home and, like, your dad had to stay and, like, basically do what he had asked me to do.
No, I did.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, there you go.
But
I thought we all went home together. Guess not.
Hey, I got 2 more hours pay out of that.
That's true. Because I remember thinking, I don't think Keely's gonna be like, hey kid, I don't think you did that good of a job. But I'm like, I probably won't go back.
No,
he may not ask me, but I love that on the flip side is he thought he was going to get a call from my parents saying, my son can't.
My son has heat exhaustion. I think because I remember him telling me, like, I shouldn't have, if this was his first day doing this, I shouldn't have put him in the paint booth, because we were in that paint booth.
Oh
It was a metal building inside a metal building in June in Tennessee. So
yeah, I do remember it being in the summer, because and I remember being Kentucky Kingdom was hot.
He had that couch in the office up front for guests, and I remember we took a break there. And he came out and saw you, and I think that's when he was like, he's like, I think you're done for the day. And so
I must have looked rough. I don't remember all of it.
I can remember it. I can remember distinctly. Like, you were like pale in the face. Like, there was a time
it was probably a lot.
I remember thinking, like, I'm going to have to fight my dad so that he doesn't make Brandon work anymore.
But then I'm thinking, what was I doing?
We were sanding.
No. I mean, I worked at a Kmart going out of business when I was 15, and then worked at Media Play. So it must have been.
This was the summer before that.
Oh, okay.
This was like literally maybe like a month before Kmart.
Okay. Because I'm like, I'm kind of surprised, but I do remember doing it. But then I'm like, was I not working? Because I would have been 14.
Yeah.
But okay. All right. Do you know what?
It was the summer of 2002.
I know we're talking about a movie tonight, but you know what's kind of crazy to me, and this isn't like because I'm turning 40 as well in September. There's a lot that I don't quite remember anymore.
That's why I've started journaling.
Like,
and try to, every time I think about something like this, I'll jot it down, even if it's just a sentence or two. Like, remember when you and Brandon worked at the shop for a day to get money for Kentucky
what's crazy
Kingdom?
is I remember the sanding part and going there, but I could not tell you why. And obviously I couldn't tell you when. But there's times where like, and I mean, you know this, but I've told countless people about stuff like, yeah, you know, I went and saw this, and they're like, yeah, I saw it with you. And I'm like, oh. Yeah. Now, I could chalk that up to where I see a lot of movies, and I don't quite remember who was there, especially towards the end when, you know, it was kind of hit or miss on who went anyway, and then I just went by myself.
Yeah.
But then there's times where, like, you have quoted something to me, and Brett has told me a full-fledged story, and I don't remember saying it. I don't remember coming up with it. And it sounds like I was funny, but I'm like, I don't know. But
you got to start writing these memories down as they pop
But it's
up.
like for you, because you remember, like, I don't know, you have a great memory, and I do too, but only about certain shit.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
there were certain things I remember when you and I were in elementary school. But you tell me something I said on the podcast a year ago, and I'd be like, I guess.
It's, for me, it's like recollection of everything from, like, I don't know, like maybe 2011 or 12. Before that, I can
once
tell
we're out
you,
of
like,
college and everything,
what we were doing in August of 2008 kind of deal. But the last 10 years have been a blur. I just dug up a bunch of stuff from when I worked at Service Source, and like, I had goodbye notes in there from people that I don't even remember. And I got cards that I had to kind of had to stop and think for a little bit, like, okay, who is this oh yeah, that. And I don't know, it's kind of scary.
The one thing I haven't lost is that, like, I'm not on Facebook anymore, but when I would see old pictures, or you would find old pictures or something, I can remember those times. Like, I can remember that summer, or based off the highlights of my hair where I was. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you guys have quoted stuff, and I laugh, and I'm like, who said that? And you're like, you did. And I'm like, I have no idea on some of it. But I remember, like, getting pissed at people when I was in high school. I remember some funny stuff from people that we used to hang out with. I can get that. And even when you talk about working with your dad, but that's crazy that it was before that time. But I must have been 15, I guess.
Yeah, and
I remember going to Kentucky Kingdom because we did the water part too.
Yeah.
And you know what I remember? Because there was about 6 of us, right?
No, you're thinking of a different
I'm thinking
trip.
of Kings Island.
You're thinking of Kings Island. There were 4 of us. No, there were 5 of us total. It was me, you, our buddy Mark, and our buddy Mark's dad that drove us.
Oh yeah, no, that's not the one I remember.
You don't remember Mark's dad telling us, as teenage boys, getting the green light for this felt like we had become men, but he convinced us. When we drove past a woman driving, he said, y'all ought to get her to try and show her your titties.
Yes, I remember that. And I remember Mark's father. I do, Anthony. I do remember. And he was a cool guy. Just like I remember a buddy of ours' father who was going to take us to a movie, and he didn't want us to go see that movie, so we just didn't go.
I heard from that friend last week, by the way. It's been a long time, but yeah.
I remember it being kind of awkward that we just
were
at his house and didn't want to take us. But I'm thinking of Kings Island. Did they have a water thing? Yeah. I just remember us guys, and I know this sounds silly now. And I mean, we also were laughing about it then. But, like, we all had to ask for help to get sunscreen on our backs. And I remember, I think it was Zach, who and of course I made it weird too, but I was thinking that was Kentucky Kingdom. But you know what? Back then, Kentucky Kingdom was a legit theme park, though.
Yeah,
I don't think they had a water thing. Anyway, How many minutes are we in?
We do have a movie to talk to.
Sorry.
Well, you know what? We'll put a warning up there, like, hey, we got carried away.
Yeah. Well, I'm just
Fast forward to
amazed.
15 minutes into the podcast.
You talk about age, and I don't give a shit about age, but then I think about the things that I remember, and then the things that people tell me, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I think I would be kind of surprised by some stuff that other people remember.
Yeah.
And Brett's a good example.
I think of that sometimes too. Like, how do people in my past remember me?
Yeah.
Because there's always like that story about, oh, the little girl that shit in the middle of the gym floor in Gladeville Elementary.
Yes.
And
I still remember you hitting that one girl with your sock.
well,
Like, I'm telling you, there's things that I could.
so
it's
like,
as if it was yesterday.
What do they remember about me?
Yeah.
If
that's
they
true.
remember me at all, you know,
That's
it's kind of weird.
I do think there's a time where I'm sure I offended people, and they quit being friends.
I'm
And
positive of it.
Yeah. And there's things in high school where I know I said stuff that I'm sure wasn't great.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't a bully, but it was very,
Well, you would say heinous shit and never tell anybody you were just kidding.
correct. Yeah, that was the joke. Was that I said it, and then I wanted people to believe it, just like I told people my dad was the Undertaker, and I never.
And that he played slam ball.
And that he played slam ball.
You told people he played slam ball
because
too.
I did watch that, and it was pretty awesome.
Well, this has been a fun trip down memory lane.
Let's make this a separate podcast.
Yeah, I should just stop recording and we'll start over. The Virgin Suicides.
That's right.
1999's directorial debut from Sofia Coppola.
Feature.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I was looking as well, and she dabbled, but first feature film for Sofia Coppola, who is the daughter? I think she's the daughter of Francis
daughter,
Ford,
Francis
right? Okay,
Ford
I didn't know if
Coppola.
she was that or a niece. Okay.
No, technically got its run in the States in 2000, but
Oh, really?
it was a darling at Cannes in 1999.
Oh, okay, it can. I knew it did some film festival stuff.
Yeah, it had that run released in May of 1999. And if you need a refresher, The Virgin Suicides follows the lives of 5 adolescent sisters in an upper middle class suburb of Detroit during 1975. The events that unfold in this story are kind of recollected by a group of grown men who were teenage boys at the time that were in love with the girls when they were teenagers.
They were very infatuated with, what were they, like from 13 to 17?
13 to 17,
the girls.
I believe. Yeah.
The girls, yeah.
We get a young Josh Hartnett in this.
Which I saw him, and I immediately turned to my... first of all, I've never seen this before.
Oh, you haven't?
I have not seen this before.
I was going to ask you
No.
if...
I didn't know if I should say that at the top or not, but I have not. I knew about it, and I think I've even seen some stuff about it, but I forgot James Woods and Kathleen Turner were the parents.
Yeah.
But I saw Josh Hartnett, and it wasn't the first scene, but after a few scenes of him, I'm like, I can't get over his hair. And my wife's like, I think my dad had that hairdo.
Is that right?
I'm like, you know who else had that hairdo? And I Googled it and showed her. And there's something about Mary when Ben Stiller's going to the prom. I showed her a picture. I'm like, that's their hair.
Yeah.
That's the hair.
I kind of thought this was earlier in Kirsten Dunst's career than it was, but no, I mean she
started so young. She
started so young, yeah. But this one kind of felt like, I don't know, and it was the start of a pretty active working relationship with Sofia Coppola.
Yes.
Throughout the years, but this was kind of, you could watch The Virgin Suicides and see that this was going to be a precursor for her career, Coppola's career. There's a vibe to this movie that kind of stays consistent as a thread through a lot of Coppola's films.
Yeah. And, this isn't too far off from when Kirsten Dunst is in Spider-Man.
It's not. No, this
long.
was 99. Spider-Man was 2002. So
I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty. That's
Oh, Crazy Beautiful was in there. I totally forgot about.
I forgot about that.
Forgot about that. Bring It On is in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
But
didn't
your
realize
Jumanji
she was
is before. That's in the
Jumanji's 95.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought it was 96.
And then she's in Interview with the Vampire. How could
Oh
we
yeah,
forget?
yeah.
Yeah. So,
And also the youngest daughter, who goes first,
yeah, Cecilia.
Cecilia. I sat there for a solid 5 minutes. I'm like, I've seen her in something, and I don't know what it is. And I had to Google it, or I had to go on IMDb. But she is young Jenny in Forrest Gump.
Is that right?
Yep. And she doesn't look that much different. Now, she has gone on, and she has been in some stuff, and I guess she's...
Hannah Rose Hall is the actress's name.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Also
why
in
does she
Rob
look
Zombie's
familiar?
Halloween.
Yeah. So, it's just crazy to see. And what's his name? He's one of the boys that's infatuated with her. Tucker? Something Tucker?
Jonathan Tucker?
Yeah.
As Tim Weiner.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that was his last name.
I didn't either.
Oh,
no.
my. But,
Scott Glenn shows up in this.
Yes.
Danny DeVito.
Yes.
Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, he's one of the boys that goes to the prom with one of the other sisters.
Huh.
I told Brittany,
didn't
I'm
even
like,
catch that.
do you know who that is? There's nothing like being excited for catching a young, somewhat Hollywood star, and your wife has no idea. I'm like, he does become Darth Vader.
Did you notice who the narrator was?
I don't. Yeah.
Giovanni Ribisi.
Oh, is that? And I'm assuming he was Jonathan Tucker at a later age. It seemed like things were being told from that perspective. I also really appreciate the guy they got to play the older Josh Hartnett in that movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Really appreciate that.
That.
But such a young, talented cast. And honestly, obviously the vets are James Woods and Kathleen Turner, but Danny DeVito's in a scene, and like you said, but yeah, there is a thread to Sofia Coppola's work because her next film would be Lost in Translation.
Yeah, which is one of my favorite films that I've seen for the first time in recent years.
And we were talking off mic about I remember liking Marie Antoinette, which was another Kirsten Sofia Coppola. I would like to revisit that because
we'll
I
have
don't
to add it to the list.
Quite know if I would feel the same. I just remember thinking, man, that's a aesthetic. It looks beautiful, but I also feel like it may have been boring. I don't know.
That's how I remember.
Yeah,
it.
and so
I haven't watched it since it was first out.
Released.
So
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
curious to revisit it as well because a lot of Coppola stuff I have kind of felt the same way I felt about the Virgin Suicides.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it just one of the hallmarks of her as a filmmaker to me is that she really allows time and space for moments to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that. And it's one of the things that I think is most endearing about Lost in Translation. But I think there are times when we linger a little bit too long and my emotional investment in the moment starts to wane a little bit. And that's where things can border on a little bit of boring to me.
Yeah.
And
honestly, I think you can make a case for that in every film she's done.
Yeah.
Now, whether you're kind of into it and engaged in that or totally, disconnected from it, but I think that kind of shows all the way through, even with The Beguiled, which I quite enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's in everything that she does. So there's a certain kind of style that I like.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And it's there in the Virgin Suicides, but it really goes to another level, starting with Lost in Translation.
Yeah. And to speak to that, it is like the way it's shot, the music, the way it's scored, like it is a total style piece.
The way they come down in their prom dresses,
and
everything.
Mm-hmm.
There is a look to it. And again, this was I think this supposedly took place in late 70s, early 80s, like 25 years. So,
I like the
who?
I like the shot of the house too, the time lapse.
Oh,
Where
when
it kind
it's...
of it goes from day to night and the lights come on and all that. Like there are some really nice elements of style in this movie that you watch and you say, okay, yeah, this is going to be like, if she keeps this up, this will be
her thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Virgin Suicides tonally, I'm curious to get your opinion on, because I'm watching the opening scene and I'm like, oh, this is, nice summertime vibes. And it's...
Well, yeah, it opens up. Is it a popsicle or a sucker?
A popsicle,
and so,
I think.
That or it's like a cherry sucker, but either way, it's like
a man watering the yard. Everything's bright, vibrant, and green. And then the next scene is Cecilia in the bathtub with her wrist slit.
Attempt, yeah.
Yep. And she survives that, but it does kind of let you know right off the bat there's going to be a weird dynamic here. And it's something I felt a lot throughout the film. It's very stylistic. It's a very quirky film, but some of the humor is a little unsettling. The subject matter is a little intense.
Yeah.
But I think of like the scene when, spoiler alert, this is a 27-year-old movie at this point.
We should be fine.
I think we're okay. But when Cecilia jumps out of the window and lands on the fence and everybody's trying to process it, and then the sprinkler goes off.
Yeah.
And it's this like quiet moment, and you're kind of like, I don't know about you, but I'm
it also happens at a party. So the boys just leave, but then I'm like, if they're 14 or 15 or what do, like, there is kind of this awkwardness, but then it's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
And how do you expect kids to react to that? And specifically these kids, because these kids are the ones who have been spying, wanting to get close to them for, it seems like since they've lived across the street.
So I think like in moments
I
like
noticed
that,
the sprinkler thing too, and I'm like,
I see stuff like that, and I'm like, I like the larger theme here that, it does kind of play into like teenagers kind of suck,
Yeah.
and it's like she sees the events that unfold at this party, and she's just like, this is time. I'm gonna go do this, and it kind of kicks off the cavalcade of events that follow. But I'm just curious about that kind of vibe, because we see it pops up a couple of other times in the film throughout it, where it's like, even like when she survives, as early as when she survives the first suicide attempt, and she tells the doctor, well, obviously, doctor, you've never been a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah.
It's like, that's funny. That's a nice little quip. But then I'm thinking, you're a little girl in the hospital because you cut your wrist.
Yeah.
So tonally speaking, did this movie work for you? Or
I wasn't that thrown off by it. And I think it's because it's already kind of starting with the boy's perspective of this family that throughout, and especially as it ends, there's a lot to still be answered for.
Yeah.
I think there's hints of it, of what's happening, but what actually drove them to that? Yes, I think Sofia leaves it to where, like, you can blame the mother.
Yeah.
But clearly there's more to it, I feel like. But we're seeing, for better or for worse, we're seeing what they interpreted as, and again, these are kids.
Yeah.
So I feel like some things you could kind of take. Like, there's the one thing I felt like, and this I felt like was the nice balance, because I didn't quite see it coming. But the way that it's first introduced, it's almost like it's intentional. Is when it gets towards the end and the boys come over and they're talking to Kirsten Dunst. And she's talking about how, hey, stay here and wait for my sisters. And she's still flirty and everything, even though something horrific has gone on in
Yeah.
that house.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows what's about to happen. That, to me, makes it more haunting than if you played it up as maybe a straight, sad, weepy drama. Like, there's
Yeah.
just something about that, and then saying, oh, this is what was going on. But there's also, I don't know, I think I just accepted it early on of the kind of tone it's trying to set, but also the way it kind of flirts with different genres, where it's almost like a little bit of it is a coming of age story for sure, but there's also this little bit of like a there's a piece of like before, or maybe it was after, but like a She's All That, where, oh, the girl, and oh, they're all, they're starting to get out of their shells, and oh, they're starting to talk to boys, and oh, their mom's letting them do, like, but then it slowly turns back again, and it kind of starts with the curfew thing, which I can't really ever really forgive Josh Hartnett for just leaving her out in that football field. That's a dick
That
move.
was, yeah. But again, kind of a testament to teenagers fucking suck.
Yeah, and he even says he loved her, but
Yeah.
in that moment it wasn't. But then it's the effects of that,
Yeah.
not just like missing curfew, but what he meant to her, and then it's kind of like, hey, Cecilia was right.
I feel like, adding effect to what you just said, there are parts of this film that the way it's shot and the way it's scored feel like a dreamlike state. And
yes.
the reason I find that to be so compelling and effective is because we have to go back to this story being recalled by the boys as adults. And so it allows you to kind of see the girls in this sort of mysterious, dare I say, mythological sense.
Oh, yeah.
Ethereal even.
Oh, yeah.
That they saw them at the time. And to me, that was where I really appreciated this story, was that using techniques in filmmaking to hammer home and make you feel like you were seeing the girls as the boys did.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really nice
It was
touch.
very fantasy like.
Mhm.
And even when Josh Hartnett, who is Mr. Cool, comes in, Kirsten Dunst, she ain't falling head over here. Like, that's not it. That's not how these girls are.
Yeah.
And part of it, yes, is their upbringing, but they also do know what they have.
Mm-hmm.
They're not they're not stupid for thinking on how boys could perceive them. But there is a very fantasy like thing about it. And I think that I mean, looking back, that's the opening scene is almost like a,
yeah, sure,
because the
it
boys
is.
sitting on why they're looking, and then like even as things kind of get darker, they're spying on them and seeing what she's doing, especially, and everything. And so that is very true. And then, but there is a sadness to the film, but when she does, it seems like when the girls are finally having a good time and kind of letting their hair down in a way, then they're kind of punished for it. And there's a sadness to it. But there's also a huge, the whole film is almost, rebellious.
Yeah.
Rebellious.
You mentioned the film being set in the 70s. I found this to be another nice artistic touch to the film, was just all of the 70s nostalgia.
The music
especially. I can't remember the name of the actual song, the Magic Man song, when we meet Josh Hartnett's character for the first time. He's walking through the high school.
That's perfect.
I thought that was really good.
Do you know what I've heard the song before, but I had no idea who sang it or anything. But it's at their little party when Cecilia, one of the last things Cecilia does, and it's a song called "The Air That I Breathe." And it's in the background. It's like, as the air that I breathe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I told Brent, I'm like, I know that song. Like, I must have heard everything. But I would tell you, I looked it up, and for people that don't know, it was a 1974 song from the Hollies. And I have listened to it every day since then. And I love it. Yeah, I love it. But the Magic Man, when he comes in, like, Sofia Coppola had a killer soundtrack.
I just nailed it. Like, nailed.
There's a few other ones that come in.
Yeah,
but,
I feel like there's
but the Magic Man when he's doing his thing.
It's such a good scene.
Yeah.
Such a great scene. Yeah. And I liked Josh Hartnett in this. Like, because I think he looks so awkward. And it's like, it's not, he's the heartthrob.
I'm waiting for him to zip his balls up in his pants.
He's the heartthrob at the high school, but at the same time, he plays it with this sort of awkwardness that, like, he's still a teenager, you know?
Yeah.
It's just, it was
whatever
really,
he thinks is cool, and if you get a little older, you realize, like, it's a bit cringe. But you know what's crazy is that, and I get it, and like, part of it has to be the hair, I'm sure, and who knows when he filmed it. But, you know, by the time, you're only talking about a couple years later, he's in the faculties in Halloween H2O, and he looks totally different.
It was,
he looks like a child, and then he's kind of at least somewhat of a guy in those other movies. So I'm assuming he had a real growth spurt.
There was one scene when he's in the car with the other boys, and I'm kind of like, okay, he looks like he's like 5 years older.
When he's in the passenger, like, when he tells them to be quiet or something. Yeah.
But otherwise, I think.
But is it just me? He seems tall, but he seems taller in those faculty and how, like, it's I don't know. I don't. But when he's with those other, which one of the kids is Hayden Christensen, who's in the back,
which I didn't even catch.
It looks even.
Yeah.
Like, they do look like children. It's a bit crazy.
When is the last time you've said, "Boy, I really enjoyed James Woods in this"? Because I thought he. You all right there?
Yeah, sorry.
I thought he stole a few scenes as kind of like the cringy dad / teacher that.
Well, he's fresh on my mind because we did Any Given Sunday, but
James Woods, 1999, he was on point.
I loved his style. That's a very 70s dad, but
another nice touch to add to the atmosphere.
Yeah, when he is falling asleep and she says, "Hey, it's time to go," and he just, like, he's also awkward, but he just gets up and then, like, and honestly, I understood the scene. It felt out of place, but I liked it when, like, it's brought up that his kids haven't been there in 2 weeks, but he's mainly just talking to those plants.
Mm-hmm. And he
I
says,
think that's
did you check out back?
Right. And I think that kind of is his character of, like, well, for prom, when he's a chaperone, but he meets the boys and the girls, and he is sort of ignorant to it all. But I think more importantly, it's that Kathleen Turner wears the, like, if he could have maybe been more, like, if he kind of stood up for some of it, instead of letting, like, and there's attempts, but
because he even tells Josh Hartnett's character, like, well, I'll do my best when he says, I've got to talk to my wife about letting him go to prom, and he says, I'll put in a word, I'll do my best. But
and he does that little laugh, like, it probably won't get far.
Yeah.
And
like,
it does.
You know who the boss is.
Yeah. And it does and then when, like, as the film goes on, it's kind of like maybe it could have been prevented if he
that's a nice
had a different approach to it, because
I hadn't considered that perspective before,
he has
but I
more
think
of an
that
understanding of what of what this time in their life means, but he can't. He's not gonna win that war with his wife.
Yeah, the juxtaposition of him versus the teenagers in this film, it's like he really is the more relatable understanding character.
Yeah, he is.
And
he's not, James Woods typically doesn't play that
yeah.
kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
But
Really,
boy, did they get a great,
that's an
I
interesting point.
I wouldn't mess with Kathleen Turner. So
No, hell no.
that's,
hell no.
But I do think there's at least a piece of that says if that dynamic was different, could those girls have lived a different life?
That's a really interesting point that I hadn't considered with his character.
Because and I think Sophia makes a point as far as the dynamic between the two, but also who kind of overrules who, but also if we could have had more of his approach, maybe the because they were in such quarantine, but you could tell that he was not in command.
Do you have a star rating for this? Where you landed on it?
I didn't, but I would probably say like a 3, maybe 3.5.
I gave it a 3 out of 5.
I mean, a 3 seems good because obviously that's a good score, but that is something where like I said, Sofia Coppola. There's definitely signs of the filmmaker she would be, and going from this one to Lost in Translation, I think is rather impressive.
It is, man.
Even though she still has those touches up to now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
except
would,
for the bling ring.
I would give it
Which I mean, still like her.
It's not
style.
Awful.
But yeah, I landed on a 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
And
I think that's
after
fair.
I watched the film, I went back to kind of review the plot, and I caught myself thinking, man, if I had just read the plot before watching the movie, this sounds like my kind of story.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds quite compelling, quite interesting. And I think it's those moments that I mentioned earlier. And my mind immediately goes to the theater scene where Josh Hartnett and Kirsten Dunst are in the theater
and he sits
flirting and like that is where stuff like that I'm like, all right, I get what you're putting down. We can move on to the next thing. And I think ultimately there were too many moments like that for me that I caught myself like checking the clock or checking my email.
It does feel a little longer than an hour and a half.
To be an hour and a half,
yeah.
I'm like, this thing kind of drags in parts where I don't feel like it should. So I landed on like the plot sounds really compelling. The execution, I think, left a little to be desired for me, and it felt a little long when it really wasn't that long.
Yeah. No, I think it's fair. I think there's a lot of things
you
could take away. Yeah, I think there's things you could take away just from style, storytelling, performances. But yes, I do think it's not again, it's just not the film I thought it would be, and it is slow, but there are things in there that just are quite compelling in this story of just in what is a tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
But this coming of age and the fact of like what could have been and what if, James Woods was different, or what if Josh Hartnett didn't leave her on the field? What if she got home? That's the stuff I like because it just thinks like, well, gosh, maybe that's the only change that it could have led to.
It's like, how close were we to this tragedy not happening?
Yeah. But then I will say, and again, when it went off, I remember thinking there's definitely a haunting part of it because just to imagine that they all go in the way that they did, and a lot of it really struck me when Kirsten Dunst is talking to them at the front door.
Why? Because we know,
now we know what's happening, and
mm-hmm.
it's like this. I mean, it's unfathomable. But I again never read the book, but I do feel like there is the only thing I would say. And yes, I agree. It does feel too long when it shouldn't, and there's things where we kind of linger too much. But I think the idea of the boys telling this story and painting their own picture of these girls and then ending up, what their fate becomes.
Yeah.
There is something quite fascinating about that. I think it does make a difference that there was a female director.
Yeah.
Telling that story.
Yeah, fair enough. In 2015, this ranked number 39 on Entertainment Weekly's list of the 50 best high school movies.
Wow.
This is not the first movie I would think of when I think of a high school movie.
No.
Because my mind goes to like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Super Bad, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when you think about it in those terms of it literally being set among high schoolers, like, I mean, it's hard not to count it. But where do you think this will stand for you in that genre of quote unquote high school movies? So I don't think I would think of it this way.
I wouldn't, even though it's justifiable to put it in that.
Yeah, it's like 10 things I hate about you.
Yeah, I think we sort of tend to think of more lighthearted stuff too.
Yeah,
during this time, right?
For sure.
Like even like Easy A.
Easy A,
right? If you want to go with a somewhat more recent one. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be in my top 10 or top 20 for sure.
We need to put together like a subgenre of high school movies that also has like stuff like Lady Bird in it and like Juno, for example.
Oh, Juno's a good one.
We need like well-crafted high school movies.
Yeah.
Then I can get down with this being pretty high on the list, I would think.
Well, I think if you put it in those terms, because now you kind of have to get genre out of your head and just say, okay, if it took place in high school, then this is what it is. Because I feel like you can go from, like we talked about, Easy A and Fast Times at Ridgemont High to Juno to Friday Night Lights. I mean,
Mean Girls. I forgot about Mean Girls.
People probably, that's probably one of the first ones they think of. But yeah, and I think this has staying power because of who was directed by, and especially, and listen, nothing against the rest of the cast, but it's Sofia and Kirsten Dunst's first thing, and they've gone on to do some tremendous work separately and together. And I think for this to be a feature film debut it means more, I think. That this was her first outing, and she was able to kind of tell the story like she did.
This has inspired me to go back and watch Marie Antoinette, but to also go back and rewatch The Beguiled as well, because outside of Lost in Translation, those are the two movies that come to mind right away when I think of Sofia Coppola. But I might like The Virgin Suicides more than both of those if I go back while it's fresh on my mind.
I think The Beguiled, might be my favorite of hers. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure, she did that movie, the Apple TV movie On the Rocks with Bill Murray.
Yeah.
And Rashida Jones. But
I didn't realize she did A Very Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I didn't either. I saw that too. But I think she did one called Somewhere that has Elle Fanning and Stephen.
Yeah, I never saw that one.
What's his name?
I actually just closed out of all my tabs.
That's okay.
I was about to
Stephen.
I was about to send us home for the episode.
Oh my gosh, I know, and I kind of wanted to watch that again.
Let's see here. It is Somewhere.
He's in Blade movies.
Stephen Dorff.
Yes, Dorff. So,
Stephen Dorff, Elle Fanning.
I feel like
Chris Pontius is in that movie of Jackass fame.
Yeah.
Michelle Monaghan is in it.
Oh, hey, I know her. I would when I look back, I think of The Beguiled and Marie Antoinette and then Lost in Translation is what I think of. But I am wondering how they hold up now.
Yeah. Did you watch the Mark Jacobs?
I haven't seen that yet. No. I'm shocked because I don't even know if Belcourt anybody got it. I haven't seen it available at all, but I would like to see it. I heard it's just really just a showcase for Mark Jacobs, and they've been friends for like I don't know how many years. So, but yeah, I always her and Kirsten Dunst were working on something together again, and I don't know if it got scrapped. But I'm curious because they'll work again. There's no way.
Yeah. Well, any parting thoughts? Or have we?
I'm happy. I'm happy we did this, and I'm happy to actually have sat down and watched it all.
Me
because
too.
It was a
Me
very
too.
interesting experience watching something like this. That it's okay to laugh, but it's also awkward, and it's also very sad.
Yeah.
But I'm just more amazed of kind of the way that it was done and the cast and seeing them back then, and it's kind of like, like I have no problem with that casting at all. It really
was good.
It works to her favor, and especially as, like you said, a first film. I mean, I guess if your dad is Francis Ford, you can probably get away with stuff.
Pretty sure he was a producer.
I'm sure his wine money or somebody paid for it. Yeah.
Well, that's going to do it for us and this month's episode. Well, actually, you're getting 2 episodes this month because there's 2 Mondays in June. That's going to do it for this episode of Movie Review Rewind on Nashville Movie Dispatch. As a reminder, you can check out all of our work at nashvillemoviedispatch.substack.com. He's Brandon, I'm Stoney, and until next time, you stay classy, moviegoers.